He wasn't the loudest driver in the Fast and Furious world. No nitrous catchphrases, no over-the-top stunts. Just Han, the quiet guy in the corner with a snack in his hand, and the smoothest lines on the street. But when the credits rolled on Tokyo Drift, something unexpected happened. For Sung Kang, Han wasn't just a role, he was a spark. Because after that movie, Sung Kang didn't just move on to the next script. He walked into a garage and never really left. What he built wasn't for fame. It wasn't for another sequel. It was for himself and for Han. And years later, what started as a personal project has grown into something no one could have predicted. A garage, a movement, and a legacy on four wheels. This is the story of Sung Kang's Han Garage and how a Hollywood actor became a real-life builder, one wrench turn at a time. If you love stories of passion, purpose, and the drive behind the scenes, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Because today we're going under the hood of a journey that's about way more than cars. Now, let's shift into gear. Fame, fast cars, and an unexpected passion. When Tokyo Drift hit theaters back in 2006, fans expected fast cars, big stunts, and a lot of adrenaline. What they didn't expect was Han. Sung Kang's portrayal of Han Lue, calm, cool, always snacking, became an instant fan favorite. He wasn't trying to outdrive anyone. He wasn't flexing for the camera. He was just present. In a movie full of roaring engines and neon lights, Han was the still point, and the audience loved him for it. But for Sung Kang, that role went deeper than fans knew. Before Tokyo Drift, Sung wasn't a gearhead. He didn't grow up wrenching on cars or memorizing engine specs. He was an actor, and a good one. But during filming, something changed. Being around real street drifters, hearing their stories, watching the love they poured into their builds, it hit him. This wasn't just a backdrop for a movie. This was a culture, a language, a way of life. And even after the movie wrapped, Sung couldn't stop thinking about it. He started visiting garages in LA not for publicity, not for Instagram, just to watch, to learn. He'd sit with builders for hours asking about welding techniques, paint prep, engine swaps. And the more he listened, the more he realized he didn't just want to act like Han on screen, he wanted to live like him, from screen star to builder. The Fugu Z is born now. Here's where the story shifts gears. In 2014, years after Tokyo Drift, Sung Kang did something a lot of actors wouldn't dream of. He bought a rusted-out 1973 Datsun 240Z, sight unseen, for $500, no engine, rotting interior, frame barely holding together. To most people, it was a junkyard special, but to Sung, it was the car Han would have driven, not on screen, but if Han were real, quiet, understated, fast when needed, a little rough, but full of soul. He named it Fugu Z, like the Japanese fugu fish. Deadly if done wrong, revered if prepared right. The metaphor fit. And unlike Hollywood movie cars, which are usually built by a crew, then handed to the actor for a few stage shots, Sung made a choice. He would build this car himself. He partnered with Greddy, Rocket Bunny, and legendary tuners. But not to pose for photos, to learn, to earn it. He started showing up to the garage in work clothes. Not a studio lot, an actual shop. He stripped the car down, learned to weld, got his hands cut, spent nights watching YouTube tutorials about wiring harnesses. The heart of the car, an RB26DETT engine, the beast from the Nissan Skyline GTR. The body, hand-shaped with custom carbon fiber flares. The interior, minimalist with subtle nods to Han's RX-7, a blend of performance and personality. It wasn't built for shows or cameras. It was built for Han and for Sung. This wasn't about playing a car guy. This was about becoming one. Therapy in a garage. Why the build mattered. Here's the part most fans didn't know. When Han was killed off in Tokyo Drift, it hit Sung harder than he expected. Yes, it was fiction. Yes, he was an actor. But that role, Han, had meant something. Han wasn't just a paycheck. Han had given Sung a place in a franchise and an identity that many fans related to in a deep way. Quiet confidence, calm in the chaos, an Asian American character who wasn't a stereotype. And when that was gone, it left a hole. Sung has said in interviews, "Building that car was my way of keeping Han alive. Every weld, every polished piece of metal, every cut finger and late-night tuning session. It was all part of processing grief, not just about Han, about losing a character who had given him purpose, about finding new purpose in building. And as Fugu Z started to take shape, so did Sung's own identity. Not as an actor playing a car guy, but as a car guy, period. Fugu Z takes the world stage, and so does Sung. When the Fugu Z was unveiled at the 2015 SEMA show in Las Vegas, no one knew what to expect. After all, a celebrity build? How serious could it be? But when the cover came off, jaws dropped. Because this wasn't a flashy, overbuilt Hollywood car. It was raw, elegant, purposeful. A car that told a story in every line, and the respect was instant. Veteran builders walked over, not to pose for selfies, but to shake Sung's hand. Not because he was famous, but because he had done the work. The car went viral. It was featured in magazines, car culture forums, and eventually immortalized in Gran Turismo Sport, one of the most authentic racing simulators in the world. For Sung, seeing players around the globe driving Fugu Z in-game was surreal. In his words, "That's Han. That's him, alive in motion." More than a car, a symbol of connection. As Fugu Z gained fame, something even more powerful started happening. Fans began reaching out, not just to compliment the car, but to share their stories. Veterans, teenagers, mechanics, all saying the same thing. Han had meant something to them. A calm figure in a chaotic world. Someone who didn't yell to be heard. Someone who represented quiet strength and identity. And seeing that spirit carried into Fugu Z, it was healing. For Sung, for the fans. One fan told him, "You didn't just build a car. You helped me say goodbye to someone I lost." At that moment, Sung realized Fugu Z wasn't his alone. It was a shared symbol for everyone who had grieved, for everyone who needed a reminder that legacy doesn't die, it drives. The garage grows, what Sung is building. Now today, nearly a decade after Fugu Z's debut, Sung's garage is no longer just about one car. It's about community. He regularly hosts garage sessions with young builders, brings in students to teach welding, tuning, fabrication, talks about grief, purpose, and how building can be therapy. He's hinted at starting a second build, maybe an electric project, not to replace Fugu Z, but to reflect who Han and Sung might be now. Because legacies evolve, and a true builder never stops learning. So what's the heart of this story? It's not about an actor who built a car. It's about a man who found healing through creation, who honored a character that touched millions, not with words, but with wrenches, and who turned a $500 rust bucket into a rolling memorial. Fugu Z isn't just a car, it's a conversation, a symbol that says, you can be quiet and still matter. You can lose and still rebuild. You can drift and still find your path. Because sometimes, legacy doesn't live on screen. It lives in the garage, in the open road, in the hum of an engine you brought back to life. And for Sung Kang and for Han, that road is far from over. If you found this story entertaining, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. And tell us in the comments, if Han were here today, what car do you think he'd build next? We'd love to hear your ideas. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and remember, legacy drives.